What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Janus, creator of Pinoy Tech Dad. Today we're going to be talking about this phone, the blackshark 4, and I'm going to be telling you why this is the ultimate value gaming phone this year in 2021. Alright, so as usual, here's a quick unboxing video so you guys would know what's included in the package. So let's go straight to the ports on this. At the bottom we have a microphone, a headphone jack, a USB-C charging port, and one of its two speakers. And as you can already see here, we have an antenna band. So that means this has an aluminum frame. And then on the right side we have the retractable shoulder buttons, as you can see here. So that's both for the right and left shoulder buttons. And then we also have the power button here, which has the fingerprint scanner. You can see it's quite fast. And then right on top we have the second of the two speakers, another microphone right here, and then we have a SIM card slot. This has a dual SIM card slot. Unfortunately, there's no expandable memory card slot here. That's a little bit sad. And then we have another microphone, and it's situated on top of the volume rockers. So right at the back, we have this X-Men looking design. I mean, doesn't that remind you of the X-Men? The design this year is definitely more subtle as compared to last year's blackshark 3. blackshark 3 had some unique design at the back panel. So this year, blackshark settled for a smooth surface, so no unique design here. And there's actually some text right over here. I'm not sure if you can see it. There's some blackshark branding as well here. And then we also have the triple camera setup. And in 2021, it's actually unique because it's in a horizontal module. At the front, we have this 20 megapixel tiny punch hole selfie camera, which is pretty similar to the Poco F3's small punch hole. Now, I wasn't able to find any information about the protection on the front panel here, but it does come with a pre-installed screen protector. Now, at the back, you might think that this is glass, but it's actually plastic. So you better be careful, and I suggest you find a case for this immediately so that you won't scratch the back panel. Now, comfort-wise, this does feel a little bit heavier than your standard flagship phones. For instance, this is the Xiaomi Mi 11, and you can see that the blackshark 4 is definitely thicker. But yeah, this is definitely not as thick as most flagship gaming phones that I've tried before, so it's actually not as bad as what you'd expect it to be. Software wise, this comes with Android 11 out of the box with Joy UI 12.5. And what I love about this is that it only comes with a few Google apps and some of Xiaomi's built-in apps like Video Player and Gallery Viewer, but that's about it. So there's not a ton of bloatware here. Now, the only thing that you really need to familiarize or get yourself accustomed to is the Shark Space when it comes to software. Shark Space is your dedicated console software or UI when it comes to your games. Now, there are two ways to access Shark Space. Obviously, you can access it through a shortcut. Now, the second method to access your Shark Space is really cool. You just have to do this. So make sure to have your shoulder buttons out and then press them simultaneously. And there you go, Shark Space. You can't exit this through your normal method. So what you need to do is just to press this switch right here, and then it turns off and you go back to your phone mode. I'm gonna be telling you more about Shark Space later on in the video. let's go ahead and talk about the display on this. So again, this has a 6.67-inch Super AMOLED display, full HD resolution, and it runs a 144 Hz refresh rate. So you have the standard, which is 60 Hz, and then you have ultra high, which is 90 Hz, and then the ultimate, which is 144 Hz. I've seen some people saying that the blackshark 4 is just a gaming-centric Poco F3. Well, here's the advantage of the blackshark 4 over the Poco F3, and of course you have the shoulder triggers as well. It's using the same panel as most of the new Xiaomi phones out right now, which is Samsung's new E4 AMOLED display, and it looks really nice. Color scheme wise, you don't have as much options right here as compared to Xiaomi's flagship phones. As you can see, you only have saturated, auto, and standard. Because this is an AMOLED display, you have the always on option. Display wise, it looks really nice. As you can see, we can watch high quality videos. It can go as high as 4K because YouTube now allows that. And it's super smooth because it's 144 Hz. So if you can find a video that runs on the same frames per second, you match it with the refresh rate, it's gonna look super smooth. What's also nice is that this already has HDR10 plus support. You can trigger the 4K HDR resolution here. And supposedly this also has MEMC, but the option is not here. Usually with phones that has MEMC, you'll see the option to toggle it, but I don't really have it here. You have sunlight mode, so if you really need a super bright display, this can reach up to 1500 nits. And one more thing connected to the display, this only has Widevine level 3. So if you are into watching streaming services on your phone, take note of this information. But otherwise, this has a really great looking display, and I also appreciate the fact that just like the Poco F3, it has a very small punch hole, so it's not gonna be too distracting if you're gonna watch movies in full display. Alright, next up is the camera discussion. The camera here is actually decent. So it has a selfie camera that shoots 20 megapixel photos and can go up to 1080p 30 frames per second. Cheese and?
This one.
Cheese
Onion.
and onion. Are you gonna eat it?
No.
Tell them.
You're not eating this.
Say bye.
Bye.
And then you have the main camera, which is a 48 megapixel f1.8 wide angle lens, and I believe they're also using the same Sony IMX582 sensor, the same as the Poco F3. Now here's the real talk, okay? I was able to use the blackshark 3 Pro last year, and there's no other word for it. The camera on that phone was absolute garbage. I wouldn't want to use the blackshark 3 Pro's camera as my daily driver. But with the blackshark 4, I think Xiaomi finally turned things around because the cameras on this are actually decent. They're something that I would be contented to use on a daily basis. Similar to the ROG Phone 5, they're not gonna be great looking photos, but there are times that you'll be able to manipulate your photos to look really good, but not great. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to point out, but if you're not understanding what I'm saying, then there are gonna be full resolution samples in the Google Drive link in the description box. So again, enjoy those and decide for yourself whether this has a good enough camera for you to get. Now before we move on, if you've enjoyed this video so far and you found it helpful, please subscribe to my channel and I'd appreciate that so much. Now before we discuss the shoulder buttons or shoulder triggers as something that you can use for gaming, I have to tell you that you can actually program these buttons and set them to whatever shortcuts you want them to be used for. For example, if you want them to be the screenshot button, you don't have to swipe down, you can do that. You can also use this as a flashlight button. So now you have this one button right here as your flashlight button. Super useful. Now let's go ahead and talk about the gaming functions. So again, you enter the Shark space using these buttons. So let's go ahead with Genshin Impact, and I'll just show you briefly what Shark space can do. To access your HUD for the Shark space, just swipe from the corner. So on the left side, we have the signal strength of your Wi-Fi connection, and then at the center is your frames per second, and then on the right side of your FPS counter is your performance load. I think this one is the most important one to learn right off the bat. So this is the key mapping, where you can map your shoulder buttons. So as you can see, I have the A button right here, which I programmed for the jump action, and then we have the B button right here, which is programmed for the attack function. So it's so easy to do. All you need is to drag these buttons right here, and then you can assign them to the specific functions that you want to use them for. And then you have a lot of settings you can choose from. This one, the performance mode, you can switch to ludicrous mode. So this one is where it absolutely pushes the limits of your phone to give you the best performance if you actually need it. But I really suggest that you just stick with the solar core right here. But you can try out whatever performance mode fits you. But for me, the solar core is where I'm happy, especially when I'm playing Genshin Impact. Then you have options for your display. You can choose from bright, colored, vivid. Then you also have hunting mode, where you can see enemies much better. It's like a negative film effect. So that way you can spot your enemies. I think this is going to be useful for when you're playing FPS games. This already gives you that gaming advantage if you're going to use this. Now, if you think these are all the options you have for Shark Space, well, think again, because you also have more options if you swipe down. And then you also have more settings here in the Gamer Studio, which I will not go into detail. You guys can explore it yourself if you do get the blackshark 4. But I'm just telling you, you have tons of options for your gaming experience. Now let's go ahead and talk about my actual gaming experience. This doesn't have the latest and greatest Snapdragon 888, but that's actually the great thing about this. We already know that the Snapdragon 888 is the best chipset out there. However, the Snapdragon 888 is a super hot chipset. It's not well optimized for gaming. I mean, the thermals on that are insane. Now, with the Snapdragon 870, thermals wise, it performs just as good as the Snapdragon 865 from last year. So that's something that I really appreciate about the blackshark 4. I was able to run Call of Duty Mobile at 90 frames per second. Really nice. It looks super smooth. And then we also have Mobile Legends, which at the time of this review still doesn't have ultra graphics, but it does have HFR. And then PUBG Mobile, also really good, even at maximum graphical settings. And then I also tried Wild Rift on this. Zero issues whatsoever with the games. Now, I think the most important thing that you want to know about this are the thermals. The only thing that made this super hot was Genshin Impact. So with Genshin Impact, I was reaching about 44 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Celsius, and that was with Solar Core. And I tried to push the graphics to the maximum or highest graphical settings, 60 frames per second, and it was insane because I was reaching about 47 to 48 degrees Celsius, which is super close to the 51 degrees Celsius on the Xiaomi Mi 11 with Genshin Impact Snapdragon 888. So my advice is just to stick with the Solar Core mode, and then if you can, maybe not use the highest graphical settings on this. But if you have the blackshark Funcooler Pro, then you'll be able to shave off about 2 degrees Celsius from your temperature while playing Genshin Impact. Now for the other games, however, this performed like a cool cat. I'm talking about 38 degrees Celsius to 39 degrees Celsius, even for prolonged hours. So really, the thermals here are awesome. You're gonna have a great time playing games on the blackshark 4. And of course, what I love the most are its physical shoulder buttons. I mean, you won't really know how much of an advantage it is as compared to touch-sensitive buttons till you try them. So I'm telling you from my experience with the ROG Phone 5 and other gaming phones from last year with the non-physical shoulder triggers, the actual physical shoulder buttons are super advantageous and they feel just right. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. If I was in the market looking for a gaming phone, this is the one. This is the one that I'm gonna be getting. So this has a 4,500 milliamp hour battery capacity, which isn't bad, but it's also not the best one out there. I mean, we're talking about ROG Phone 5 with 6,000 milliamp hours of battery. However, The blackshark 4 makes up for its smaller battery capacity with its super intense 120 watt fast charging. So I'm telling you guys, this can potentially charge from 0 to 100% in just 17 minutes. The charging rate actually depends on how much heat your phone is producing, so the charging time really varies. For example, the first time that I charged this, I got 0 to 100 in just 26 minutes, and then the second time I charged this for about 22 minutes. So the range is just under 30 minutes, and that's still insane. If you're gonna be hardcore gaming on this, then I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to charge this a few times during the day, which is not gonna be a problem because you'll only have to wait for about 20 minutes. But of course, that's not gonna be great for your battery's lifespan, so I really wish Blackshark would be giving you the option to replace your battery in the future. So what is missing from the Blackshark 4 that you might find in other gaming phones, or other flagship phones for that matter? So first off, there's no official IP rating for this. And then another thing that this doesn't have is expandable memory. So if you're gonna get this, I would highly suggest that you get the higher variant, the one with 256 gigabytes of storage. And the same for my comment on the ROG Phone 5. This doesn't have flagship level cameras, but I can actually forgive this a little bit because this is priced way lower than the ROG Phone 5. Another thing, the charger that comes with a global version is not 120 watts. You can only get 67 watts from the global version, so you'll have to purchase the 120 watt charger. So I guess those are the only things that I can think of when it comes to things that are missing from the Blackshark 4. So what do you guys think about the Blackshark 4? I hope I was able to convince you that this is indeed the ultimate value gaming phone in 2021. Now globally, this is gonna start at about $500. So if you're not yet convinced that this is indeed the best value gaming phone out there right now, I am a gamer. I'm not a hardcore mobile gamer, but I do love my games, and I am absolutely sure what a good gaming phone is, especially when it comes to good value. And I can tell you 100% that the Blackshark 4 gives you the ultimate value for a gaming phone in 2021. Now, if you guys want to get your own Blackshark 4, and I do highly recommend you get one, all of the links are going to be in the description box. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell button so you can watch more videos like this in the future. That's it for today, guys. Keep safe and have a great day.